The house we lived in when we came down here had a downstairs room which was the church office, and next to that was a beautiful swimming pool with a whole lot of trees. And
the first highlight was obviously getting going, starting the church, launching it, and really God blessing it in terms of growth.
My highlights, I was seriously Heaven's Gate Hills Flames. I mean,
some of my most wonderful memories were the baptisms and the Christmas carols we had around the pool, baptizing people with our candles, everybody around the pool, and singing. That was absolutely amazing.
I think another highlight for me was seeing people come into the church, some quite newly born again, and then growing and developing and then being released into ministry themselves.
We left end of October in 2012.
And we left because God called us through a dream to come and plant a church here in a foreign nation.
Hello everybody, I'm Greg and this is Michelle Haswell. You planted us out 16 years ago into Atlanta, Georgia, which is where we are now.
Highway Christian Community has a rich history. People poured tons of time, effort, labor, emotions and money in order to see literally thousands upon thousands of souls saved and the nations discipled. We want to ensure we give our children an equally powerful church. We want to see the next generation impacted with the gospel. One of the ways we are going to do that is by settling our bond debt.
And a significant, very significant and exciting time was when we bought our existing building, when we purchased that from the YMCA owned it at that time.
Highway started off as
11 months.
Church satellite. Used to run on TV2 was Ed Rabitt's sermons, and then people gathered around in lounges watching the TV and formed little communities across the country. And Westville was one of those communities. In the Gibbons' home,
my late wife and me, with Dave and Louise, the four of us really started to think about establishing a Bible-based, Spirit-led church.
God led us to that significant decision of starting a church. We spoke to people who'd shown interest, got a bigger response than we anticipated.
But God, time and time again, just confirmed that not to look to man, but to look to Him.
When this church became big enough to warrant a full-time pastor, they called my late husband and I down here.
We had just decided to go to the new hall in Pinetown, and we were watching rugby at the Ensign's home on a Saturday afternoon, and the next morning was going to be our first service. The Lord chose to take Herman that afternoon with a heart attack, and we were thrown into some confusion as to what we were going to do the next morning, and we decided that we would continue. Herman would want us to go through with that service that we planned for that Sunday morning.
so Greg and Michelle were called down.
It was a joy to be with you and to lead Highway all those times, and it's a joy for us to have you plant us.
We have many fond memories of our time at Highway. I think for me one of the most wonderful times was when the Holy Spirit started to move, and we saw many lives just being touched by the Holy Spirit. We saw callings being ignited, we saw marriages being healed, because the presence of the Lord was so welcomed. And we just want to thank you for that, because we feel like we have a rich inheritance there. We're seeing God do the same in Atlanta, Georgia.
I think one of my fondest was the day we brought Brady to church for the first time, and just the celebration around that.
And my fondest memory was just all the many camps we had with guys and mission trips into dark Africa.
We loved the love at Highway, the love amongst the people and the elders. I love the boldness of the eldership team in serving God no matter what.
I think the biggest thing that has been mind-changing for me at Highway is coming into an understanding of the grace message. I'm just now free to be who I am and to love God's people.
So for me, the highlight probably was the Glory and Grace conference, the first one we had at Highway.
Yeah, that
Huge.
would be that.
And then the other thing was, more recently, moving into the venue we're in now, our opening service was phenomenal. We had a whole stack of dancers. We ran around the entire venue, and we had a whole lot of men with flags, and the praise and worship and everything was absolutely stunning. It was a sense of, at last we've got our own home.
From 2004 to 2006, this church raised over 2 million rand to build this beautiful facility. At the time, we needed another 1.6 million rand to finish this project, and so we took out a bond. Over the past 8 years, we have only been able to service the interest on it, and thus the outstanding amount still sits on 1.6 million rand. We believe now is the right time to trust God to raise this 1.6 million and settle this bond once and for all. A bond-busting team has come together to spearhead this project, and after much prayer, we believe we can raise this 1.6 million rand by the 28th of February 2016. But it will take a miracle that you can be part of. We are inviting you to partner with us and to ask God what you can give towards this project. We do believe that this figure would be over and above your regular tithing contribution to the church's operational costs. Your bond-busting contribution could be once-off donations or an additional monthly contribution. All the banking details are on screen, on our website and in the notice bulletin. This is our generation's chance to leave a legacy for the next generation to be blessed by this fantastic lighthouse of a facility and church base. Let's give it our all, Highway. Let's bust this bond.